wanted to choose you in particular, because as I learn more about the process, I know it's not easy, and it's
Right.
definitely not easy right now, in particular. And that's not even just talking about the housing market. That's just talking about the economy and everything and what time it is. But I know I want to hear your journey and how you got there, because I know you work and I know you put in the work. I know you're a doctor
Right.
now and everything, so you could break that down and how you want to, just talk about it. But we're just gonna start with, like, and I want everybody to know my part. I'm talking to AJ. He really the big man, but he like to stay humble and everything like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you cut
everybody
it
give
out.
it up for AJ.
No, I'm
That's right.
just, yeah.
That's right.
That's funny,
All
yeah.
right. So, what you say?
I said that's funny. That pause. That's actually hilarious.
So yeah, tell us about your home buying journey, and what was it like for you?
Uh, all right. So it was definitely more than I expected. When I moved to Baltimore last June, so June 2021, and I told myself I'm gonna stay here around like a year, and if I really like it, I'm gonna try and get a house. A lot of people kept telling me that Baltimore's on the come up. If you're trying to get a house, try to get one within the next 3 to 5 years before it becomes unaffordable. So I was out here like maybe June to February, and around February I was like, all right, I kind of like it out here. I'll probably be out here like 3 to 5 years. Let me start looking for a house. So the first thing was I had to find an agent, and I was like, I don't know who I'm gonna get to get me, who's gonna find me a house. So I happened to go to the CIAA. It's like a big tournament out here for all HBCUs. It's like an HBCU conference. So there was a tournament. And so I remember saying a couple of these before, like, yo, like I'm really looking for like, I actually wrote down, so I need to find like a real estate agent. So long story short, our frat brother Calvin, he lives out
Nah,
here.
you
He
could.
invited
You
me to
don't got
come.
a long story short it, but you know,
Uh,
let us know. I want to know.
so yeah,
But go
so
ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
so I had I went to CIAA tournament with like our pro fight, Calvin Smith. And so he's like, oh, this is, my friend, Bo. He's actually a real estate agent. I was like, yo, what's up? He's a frat. He's a noob. So I actually was like, yeah, it's crazy. I was literally just looking for a real estate agent. He's like, yeah, I'm a real estate agent. Take my card. When you're ready, and yeah, we can get the ball rolling. And so I was like, all right, cool. So 2 weeks went by. Had to check on my funds, my budget, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna look for a house. And so I hit him up, and we went through the process. He was real cool. I think getting a good real estate agent is key. Like, he was young, he was innovative. He kind of knew the city a lot because he does real estate and he flips. So he knows all about the housing market. He was like, he said, what's your budget? Well, first I had to talk to the lender, had to apply to the lender. They had to run my credit, do everything, and got approved. He said, okay, you're approved. This is the X amount. This is the cap you can use on the house. Like, I think it was like 375. That was like the most I could use based on my credit. So I had to go to his lender, go to the lender with Fidelity, apply, do all that. And he's like, all right, cool, you're approved. Let's get the process. So there was like, there was a portal where you could just look for houses. And so I would go on the portal, look for houses I was interested in, and then we would go on tours. So one thing I would definitely say about a real estate agent, like a really good one, like he was good. Like, if I want to see a house that day, he would just make it work. He'd be like, yo, if he couldn't come, he would send somebody else, like, to help me, open the house, look at it, tour it around, etc. And one thing that was good, my real estate agent, he really, he would show me different things in the house. He was like, yo, like, they didn't do this right here. Like, he was real particular. He was like, they could have lined this up better. They could have put better drawers up. They could have did this, did that, which kind of helped me out as a first time home buyer. So my biggest thing when I was looking for houses was definitely the block and the safety, because I'm not from around here. I'm from New Jersey, so I wanted to find a block that was relatively nice, safe. One thing that I would do is I would go into, like, when I would look at houses, I would go in the alleyways. And if I saw like a lot of like trash and stuff on the ground, I'd be like, okay, there's a lot of foot traffic here. So a lot of people just be walking back and forth. And I was like, I don't really want all that. I just want like a decent, block, etc. So I actually applied. I bidded on my first 2 houses I wanted. And I bidded on them. And it was crazy because I didn't think a lot of people were looking for houses right now. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me just bid on these houses. And then it turns to find out people were buying houses quick.
What was
because
this?
You said what?
What month was this?
This was.
What time?
Let's go back. So end of February, I was applying.
This year.
Yeah, February 2022.
Okay.
I met my real estate agent. End of February, I did all my applying. March, I started looking for houses. So it was March. I started looking for houses. I probably looked at like 9 or 10 houses.
In person?
Some I liked, some I did like.
In person?
Go ahead. Yeah, in person. All in person.
Okay.
I did full tours, up and down, backyard, block. And one thing I did, which maybe some tips for somebody else, if I liked a particular house or like block, I would drive early in the morning and I would drive at night. Because I wanted to see what the environment was like in the morning and the night. Like one house I was looking at, like it was cool in there, but at night it was just like a lot of foot traffic, people hanging out in the corner. I'm like, I don't really want all that. So I kind of numbered it down to like 2 houses at first. The first house I wanted, it was real nice. Put a bid on it. And then 24 hours later, he was like, hey, somebody put a bid on right after you, but it was $10,000 more than you. Do you want to? So we're going to go with them. I was like, damn, all right, cool. So another house I was looking at, put a bid on it. The realtor from that house called back. They were like, oh, you got outbidded again. I was like, damn, like, those are 2 houses I really, really wanted. So there was another house I wanted. It was like, but I was like, I just had a timetable because my lease was ending in July. So I was like, let me try and get a house, end of March, end of April, because you still have to do other things in the process I'll get into. Mm-hmm. So this was like end of March. I was looking at another house. I put a bid on it, and I got it. And then something in my spirit was like, don't get this house. Like, even though I bid on it, I was like, well, you don't have to take it, but just want to let you know it's hard to like get houses now. It was really nice on the inside, but then like when I drove past it at night, it just like, you ever like your gut is just like, nah, don't do this. And I was just like, nah, I'm not doing this. And it's funny because that house I wanted is still on the market now. Like, that's the crazy part. It's still on the market. So I was like, all right, so what am I going to do? So I waited. And so the next, literally 3 days later, another house came up. And it was like across the street from the house that I lost that I didn't get the bid on. And I got outbidded on. So I hit my realtor and said, yo, let's go see this house right now. He's like, cool, let's do it. So we went that day, toured the house. I was like, oh, I love this house. It was cool. Then I had one of the neighbors on the block. He talked to me about it. He's like, it's a good block, real safe. We get each other's packages on the block, etc. Like, it's a real good block. And I was like, bet, like, I think this is right in my spirit. So put a bid on it, prayed on it, etc. I kind of like asked for more money. So I forgot the exact term it was. It was, you may know. It's when you put a bid on a house, but you kind of ask them to give you money so it lowers your cash to close. It lowers your closing costs. I can't think of the term. So I put that in. I was like, well, let me put some money and see if they'll help me out the closing costs. So I put the bid in. They called me next day. He was like, yeah, you got the house. I was like, that, like, it's crazy. Like, it's kind of about what they wanted. They gave me some money back so my cash to close would be a little bit less. And I was like, cool. So then I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm in there. Like, I got the house, etc. Then, like, this is all new to me. Like, I had to pay for an inspection. He's like, yeah, you got to inspect your house. Like, you can't just, like, that's not it. You got to pay for the inspection. So I was like, all right, cool. Pay for the inspection. Bet. Thinking it's over. Then he's like, yo, you got to get an appraisal. I was like, I got an appraisal? He was like, yeah, you got to get an appraisal to know what your house is worth. And, as as the house gets more, like, what's the worth of the house, what you appraise, etc. I was like, cool. So I paid for the appraisal. And then I paid for the inspection. Thankfully, the inspection, a lot of things like weren't wrong with the house. It was like little things, and like luckily the owner of the house, when I asked could he fix everything, he was like, yeah, like I'll fix it. no big deal. So that was dope. He didn't really give me a hard time because I heard some realtors be like, well, I'm not fixing that. So you can take the crib or not,
Right.
or you can fix it on yourself. Luckily, you know, I was blessed. The realtor fixed like all the minor things. So so this is in April. So put the bid on the house in April, got it, did the inspection, did the appraisal and everything. And one thing I will say, like, when you're doing this, a lot of paperwork. Like, I had to get so much paperwork. It was unbelievable. Like, they wanted like application after application. They wanted my taxes for the past 5 years. So I had to call like my previous job, ask like, hey, can you send my tax returns from like 3 years ago? They're like, yeah, that's fine. So they sent me all those. You know, having good credit helps. I would definitely say that. So like, they want all your credit. They want a background check. They want a lot. Like, I'm just thinking you just get a house and that's it. But nah, it's mad work. Like, it's crazy. Like,
What did they consider good credit when they were talking to you? Speaking with you?
Probably over. Probably I guess over a 700. I feel like that would be like good.
Okay.
To get what you want over a 700. Really to like get a house you want.
Okay.
And so that helped, and just going through the process of filing paperwork.
Why did that help? Really fast. Why did that help?
You talking about credit?
Yeah.
Oh, it expanded. So when you're looking for a house, the better credit you have, the bigger amount of a loan they'll give you on a house. So if you don't have really good credit, it'll lower the amount. It will lower the number of houses you can look at because it'll cap it. So if, say somebody's selling a house at $300K and the bank will give you up to a loan of $250. Well, that house is out the picture. They won't give it to you. So which was really helpful, especially like in Baltimore for up and coming city. You want to be able to try to get a good property, and definitely, I would say, you know, if anybody's trying to look in Baltimore or anywhere, like a lot of people, it was funny. People were telling me, you know, I didn't really tell too many people when I got a house because I don't like to tell people stuff. Because I feel like people will talk you out of it early. Like I would hear people talking about, oh, you know, this is not a good time to get a house. The interest rate is too high, you know, yada yada yada. But I'm like, yeah, like the interest rate is actually pretty normal. People are spoiled by COVID, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, yo, this is the perfect opportunity, at least for me. Like I'm gonna get me a crib. Baltimore's kind of on the come up, and I feel like I was reading something where a house is the number one, pretty much your number one best investment you can do, as far as like return on investment. Like you can do stocks, cryptos, all different investments, but a property is still it's the number one return of investment. It's the number one asset you can have. So it's like, let me just get a house. I know it's gonna be worth the long term. So went through all that, did all the paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork. You got to do a ton of paperwork, a lot of repetitive work too. Once I did that,
were you doing all of the paperwork, or was your realtor helping you with this?
So I did most of the paperwork because most of it I had to fill out.
Okay.
Most of it I had to fill out, like just applying for the house, signing a lot of documents. Like we'd have to sign a lot of stuff. I had a good realtor and lender, so they kind of work hand in hand a lot. So my lender would be like, "Hey, I'm sending you over this. Read over when you get a chance to sign it." So just staying on top of that, which was really helpful. But no, I would definitely say like it was a lot more than I expected, but it's definitely worth it. Like, and it's an investment. Like I tell people, like it's you're paying for a lot. Even when I moved into my house, like I got movers. I didn't want to be cheap, and like I feel like I'm old enough. I'm like I got movers. I wanted everything to be moved in correctly. Like, I didn't want just like hire your boy, put in the U-Haul. Like I wanted my stuff to be moved in properly, like by professionals. So like you gotta hire movers, tip movers. I didn't realize like I had to put blinds in my windows. I didn't even think about that. That was like an expense I was not expecting. So like I had to put blinds in all my windows, and then. My friend was like, "You should throw a housewarming," and I was like, "All right, cool." People know I don't ask them, but she was like, "Nah, like you gotta ask for stuff." Like she was like, a part of like, maturing, getting older is letting people help you. Mm-hmm. I was like, "That's deep. Yeah. That's deep." And I was like, you know what? Like this stuff's starting to add up. Let me throw a housewarming right quick for real. I need to get some stuff like for real. Like I didn't realize it because I don't ask you for nothing, but I was like, "Nah, let me throw." I'm gonna throw a housewarming and get some stuff, but I think the process is worth it. Like when I stepped into my house the first time, I was like, "Yo, like this is my home." Like it was so worth it. It's having a good realtor helps, an experienced realtor. Mine, for example, like you said, he did real estate and he flipped. So when we would go in houses, he would point out little things. He was like, "Yeah, like this flooring's really cheap. These appliances are cheap. They could have did a better job with this." You could tell whoever did the property, they didn't like. He would like, for example, in one house, the railing was crooked. I didn't even realize. He was like, "Look at this! Like they didn't even take the time out to like do the railing correctly." Like, and then that stuff means a lot. You don't think it does, but you gotta watch like who's these properties you're going into. So having, I think, experienced realtor, having somebody who really cares, somebody young too who wants to see you. Like my realtor, like he was black. He was like, "Y'all want to see like more black males get a house," and I was like, we need more of that. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And so that was pretty much my process. I think overall it was definitely worth it. But it's a lot. It's more than I expected, but it's gonna be worth it. Like years from now, it's worth it now. So that was pretty much my story and how I did it. I encourage people, if your finances are correct and you're able to get a house, definitely do it. Especially like in a lot of cities, we're doing a lot of gentrification, regentrification. Major cities, if you can get a property, it'll always it'll appreciate. It'll be worth it long term.
That's what's up. Definitely a lot of good in there. Did you already have your homewarming?
I did.
Didn't
It's in
it? It's
August.
in August.
It's in August.
So what you got on your
It's in
list for
August.
things you like? What are some of
Man.
the expenses that you like? All right, I bought my house, but now I need to make it a home.
Um, some real plates, like some real like plates, like a dining set. I'm using paper
Hey,
plates. Like, nah, and it's
got
funny. My best friend, she was like, my best friend, she's like, "Yo, if you bring a chick over, yeah, you gotta really have some plates." She's like, "I ain't." So she actually bought them for me off my
oh, there you
list,
go.
which is funny as hell. Exactly. So just plates, silverware. What else did I ask for? An air fryer.
Gotta have it.
I asked for a step ladder. So like if I want to change my lights and stuff in my house, or something, like a step ladder, like
Right, because you're doing
the
everything.
grills, that,
You're doing
right,
everything now. You got on your
everything,
lawn.
everything.
You get your lawnmower.
I don't have no lawn,
Okay,
thankfully,
okay.
no lawn, no lawn. So that's a saving. Wine glasses.
Hmm.
Um, what else did I ask for? I asked for some things when I was really looking. What did I ask for? A toaster,
Right.
a wine rack, so I can hang my wine up. Try to look a little
You
fancy
gotta
with
have that. Yeah.
the
You're doing it
yeah,
right. You're doing all the
gotta have
right
that.
things. Right.
All the right things, exactly. And people been sending me stuff like, cause I looked, they'll be like, "You got a package," and I'll be like, "Oh, so people really sending me stuff on my wish list," which is dope. So I'm like, I'm really blessed,
Yeah,
happy
we
for that.
already
So
told you the man. Everybody, everybody, everybody giving AJ. Everybody want you to get
yeah,
fried.
you funny as shit for that. That shit is
Oh
crazy.
man.
Nah, so I was definitely like, just asking for stuff because I wasn't gonna ask nobody. I was like, I'm gonna do this all myself, but I'm like, nah, it's too much.
Like, what made you choose your home over the other homes that you didn't choose?
So, because I live in the city, she live in Baltimore. So Baltimore's a block by block kind of city. So I wanted like a good block, um, a safe block. I didn't want a lot of like abandoned cribs on my block. So my block is like it's all brand new cribs, and like the one next to me is like the last one being built on the block. Um, good neighbors. So like when I went and looked, when he was happy to be there. He told me everything about the block, the neighbors, everything. So my safety was like really big.
That was smart to talk to the neighbors.
Inside, yeah, yeah, that was good. Inside, I wanted at least like 2 to 3 bedrooms, so I can maybe rent out a bedroom or
That's
two,
smart.
for a roommate or whoever, just so help me bring down my mortgage a little bit. Um, I wanted everybody to have their own bathroom, so that was one thing I looked for. I feel like as I get older, I'm not sharing bathrooms
True.
anymore. So I wanted my own bathroom, and I wanted a finished basement. That was another thing I wanted, as
That's
well.
always nice.
So it kind of checked off a lot of things I wanted. It's my like the only thing I don't have a garage, but I mean that's cool. Like the street parking is not bad. You can't get everything in your first house, but those are some of the things I was looking for when I wanted a house. Didn't realize how time consuming it was.
Okay.
It's a lot of time, like time consuming, like it's crazy. Like when you're like working, like when you work, go to the gym. Like for example, like I would like your weekends. Like I would look at houses. So like my Saturdays would kind of be like kind of chalked for like a couple weeks. My Saturdays, my Sundays, even some weekdays after works because the houses were going so fast. So he'd be like, "Yo, it's a house open. Let's go check it out." So it takes up a lot of time. That filling out applications, filling out applications, all the paperwork that's involved, running around, going to the bank, all that stuff. It definitely takes time. Like talking to your lender, making sure, hey, you got to sign this, you got to sign that. Oh, you didn't fill this out right. I got to send it back to you. It takes it's very time consuming, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So I'm in here now. I'm good to go. So now it's just taking it by it is. But definitely, I think realizing how much time it takes to especially because I'm single. I'm by myself, so I kind of just did it all on my own. So it definitely takes time.
Yeah, not for long. You got the diamond plates with the wine glass and the wine glass, right? You Gucci. You good.
Yeah, man. I'm trying, doing what I can
Definitely
do.
doing it. That's why we talking right now. It's because you are doing it, and congratulations to you. I can't wait to slide through and see the spot.
Always.
By that time it's gonna be a little while when I come back to the East Coast. So you should have everything by then. Most of the stuff, maybe not everything,
cool.
but definitely the blinds. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. That'll be up and everything. Anything else? Any other questions you got for me? Anything I could do to help?
Nah, I think as we move forward, I want to bring you back for another conversation. I just wanted to, get this started and talk to somebody who I know is growing and is very, serious about what they're doing and intentional about their life. And so that's why I wanted to talk to you. And I know you made your changes and not making your changes, but transitioning, being in the gym and being healthier and everything like that. And so we'll talk at another time about that and how that, has. I know where you at mentally. You in a strong mental space. You definitely have some strong mental development that I want to tap into and see what value would be there. But nah, that's it for now. That's it. I appreciate you taking your time out. If you got anything you want to add, you can add it. If not, we good.
Just encourage people. Like I said, it's definitely an investment, but I feel like this is the time. If if the finance is correct, get a house, own a house. And you just try and tap in. If you're financially able to, it's worth it. There's a lot of programs out there, jobs, etc. Banks that can help you, with housing as well. So definitely, tap in wherever you're at and try.
Real fast, actually, since you said that, I do have a question. Did you use a first-time homebuyer program? What program? How did you find that program, and what program was that, or what you could share?
So my job has a first-time home buyer. I live near your work program, so it's a first-time home buyers, and they'll give you an X amount of money to help you buy a house. So that was super helpful. And there's also that, but there's a lot of programs out here that will help you. They'll lower like your down payment. Like I know there was one program there like you only got to put 3% down to own a home. So there's a lot of programs out there for first-time home buyers. When you're ready. So definitely take advantage of your resources. I remember I know another girl. She applied, and she was doing more of like a rental. She wanted to do like a rental, and so they have like programs like carpeting. They'll give you $10,000 to like put brand new carpeting in your house and fix your floors, and
Wow.
there's a lot of programs out there. They take time to apply though, and a lot of people do apply, but there's a lot of programs out there to help people with their homes.
That's good. That's good. Well, yeah, we appreciate you. You know, your wisdom, your experience, and all that. All that.
Always, anytime. Look forward to coming back.